Hey, I'm Jordan.
And I'm Cyrus.
And we are 2/4 of the band Newfound Glory, and this is our 4-track history. Track 1 is Hit or Miss.
So let's talk about hit or miss. I might as well start with this. Special to me because I actually
Wrote the riff.
Wrote the guitar riff for Hit or Miss. Something that I did at my parents' house. I feel like it was right when I first started playing with you guys. Full disclosure, I'm the drummer of the band, so I don't often pick up a guitar. But I showed this riff to Chad, and I had written an entire song around it that, thank God, that is not the real song, but he took the riff and was like, this is pretty awesome. Can I make something out of this? And next thing you know, it was Hit or Miss.
Yeah.
And then it's a special song for us because it's the only one of our songs that we recorded
3 times. We recorded the song 3 times. 3 times.
It was on 2 of our records. It was on Nothing Gold Can Stay, and then again on our self-titled full length. And it definitely is still one of the most iconic songs we have.
Yeah.
I think that riff is instantly recognizable.
You know, the third time we recorded it, right?
Yeah, Jerry Finn.
Was with Jerry Finn.
R.I.P. Great
Rest in peace.
producer.
You might know him from records like, Enema of the State, maybe. Some awesome Smoking Popes records.
Yep.
For me.
Oh, a little record called Dookie.
A little record called Dookie.
Yeah. Now, actually,
I
got to.
Rob Cavallo?
Jerry Finn mixed that for
okay,
sure.
gotcha.
I think he recorded it too. But I should say, correct you. That was actually the second time we recorded Hit or Miss.
Yeah,
because we recorded that version of Hit or Miss in between Nothing Gold Can Stay and the self-titled record. We had just been signed to MCA Records in the U.S. and they knew Hit or Miss was going to be a big song, and they wanted to try to get it to radio. So they were like, you know what? And back in this day, this was like bands were doing this kind of stuff. You would release a single. So they were like, why don't we just get you in the studio with Jerry Finn? We'll do Hit or Miss. We'll put it out on radio, and then we'll worry about the record later. And it was great, but, to be fair, Jerry didn't have a lot of time with us. We recorded it really fast, and we didn't feel like it represented our band well enough. So we waited on it, and next thing you know, we did it with Neil Avron on the whole record, and the rest is history. So track 2 is My Friends Over You.
MFOY.
Yes, MFOY.
I'm trying to think of anything that stood out from that time doing that record or doing that song. I remember in the music video we had we wanted to have all these cameos in there, and I remember all these people were in the video. Travis and Brody,
Tim Armstrong.
Stillers, yeah, Tim.
Even
we're so random.
Some of my friends from home
out.
had flown out from California. They were in the video.
Yeah.
That was a fun video to make.
Yeah,
it was cool because we all kind of gave our own ideas for the video versus just a director telling us what it was going to be.
Yeah. And they really wanted to emulate what it was for our live show. Hence the guy in the costume flying around and me getting in the crowd and singing and stuff like that.
A lot of people might not know that the conductor of the choir in the video is Neil Avron, who produced and mixed that record. Or he didn't mix that record, but produced that record.
Yeah.
The writing, it's weird. We don't have much to say about the writing because that song was written last for that record. It was actually the last day of pre-production, the day before I started recording my drums, and Chad had an idea for a song. And for me, whenever that happens, I'm like, are you kidding me? One last thing to think about. And it's ironic because that ended up being My Friends Over You, which is our biggest song to date. And that song came together so fast. And at the time, you almost feel like, well, this is just another track you're throwing on the record. And next thing you know, it kind of defines almost our entire career and dare I say, kind of a genre of music. And we play, if we do not play My Friends Over You, we probably would not make it off stage.
Track 3 would be All Downhill From Here. I don't know what to say about that song, except that it encapsulates my life at one point in one chorus. Yeah.
You know what I remember about that song? I don't know if you'll remember this. I think we were talking about it the other day when we went to rehearse in L.A. We went to a weird rehearsal spot in L.A. just one time to work on writing, and it was that song. And I remember Chad had that riff, and you know, a lot of times with writing, Chad will have a riff and we'll like play one kind of drum beat, and then it'll be like, well, can you find a different drum beat? And so he kept repeating that guitar riff, and it was like a challenge to find out how many different ways I could do drum beats.
Yeah.
Like, can I do a fast one, a slow one, a medium one? And the interesting thing in that song is there almost is, if you listen to it, there's like 3 different types of drum beats on that, because there's the way it starts the song, and then there's the big halftime part and the bridge.
Yeah.
And then at the very, very end of the song, there's almost like the hardcore, like,
Yeah.
And so then that came out of that rehearsal, was let's just try to see how many different ways we can do it.
Huh.
The video was very interesting, because
Yeah.
that video with Merritt Avis, and it was all green
Yeah.
screen stuff. And
Yeah.
here's this guy who's like, I have a treatment for a video. And we're like, well, what's the video? He's like, I can't really show you what the video is going to look like. You just have to go with it. And that's like, you're talking about a record company spending like probably over $100,000 on a video that you don't really know what it's going to be like. And it ended up being a massive video in the States. It was all over MTV. And
Yep.
I
Got
was in
retired from TRL.
I was in a chicken costume. No, you were in the chicken costume.
I was, yeah.
I was a friggin' lobster, I think. Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah. Track 4 is Happy Being Miserable. Does that also describe your life right now? Happy Being Miserable from Makes Me Sick, if I remember correctly, was one of the first songs written for Makes Me Sick.
Yeah.
Remember we did some demos on Warped Tour a couple years ago?
Yeah.
So this would have been almost an entire year. Or no, it was at least a while before we recorded that record. And that was one of the riffs that Chad had, that we did a demo while we were on the bus.
Yep.
And I remember when I heard that demo and heard you singing the chorus and stuff, I kind of instantly knew that it would be a good song.
Yeah. I remember doing the video too.
Oh,
like,
God, that
that was
video
so
was fun.
gross, with all the blueberry pies and stuff. Like
That was
and
our homage to Stand By Me, right?
Yeah. And I was like, all right, we're doing this like Stand By Me like rip-off video, so I gotta like play the part. So like I had like the whole like costume and the shaved head and everything, and I don't know. In theory, it was good, and then I look back, I'm like, I look disgusting in that video.
You actually ate a raw egg in that video.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is gross.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was fun to also watch the extras, our fans. You know, we didn't really tell them about the video, like what the premise was. We just said, hey, you want to be in a video? And they all signed up. They're all happy. They get there, and then they find out that they're going to have blueberry stuff just thrown all over them.
No,
and
like literally like jet thrust, like jet engine
Yes, it was.
thrusting spray.
And by that time, we didn't have to be in those shots. So we were sitting clean
Yeah.
in the corner just watching them while these people are literally kind of gagging.
Yeah.
It was fun.